Excellencies, first is the formal pose. Allow me to count in 3, 2, 1. Once again in 3, 2, 1. And now the ASEAN way, right over the left. Allow me to count in 3, 2, 1. Thank you, Excellencies. Please be seated.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Colleagues, my brothers and my sisters, welcome back to Jakarta. Let me also welcome Your Excellency Bendito dos Santos Freitas to his first ASEAN meeting. So we look forward to working with you as one ASEAN family. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the risk of nuclear weapons use is higher today than at any time in recent history. We keep hearing warnings about the possible use of nuclear weapons. We also see nuclear power remains part of some countries' military doctrine, including in our region. We know fully well we cannot be truly safe with nuclear weapons in our region. No weapon is more powerful and destructive than nuclear weapons. And with nuclear weapons, we are only one miscalculation away from apocalypse and global catastrophe. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, the maintenance of peace and stability in the region is our priority. It is our foundation to turn the region into the epicentrum of growth. Therefore, we must keep Southeast Asia as a region free of nuclear weapons. SUNFEST has contributed to this effort and to global disarmament and non-proliferation regime. However, 25 years after the signing of the Protocol of SUNFEST Treaty, none of the nuclear weapon states have signed it. For Indonesia, to move forward is the only option. The threat is imminent, so we can no longer play a waiting game. We cannot let details obscure the bigger picture. We must come as a united front before nuclear weapon states. Only then we can force a clearer path toward a region free of nuclear weapon. I thank you. And before I continue the meeting, I kindly request the media to leave the room for the closed session. Thank you very much, colleague from the media. to the business arrangement of our meeting today. And for the sake of time efficiency, I propose that we have an omnibus intervention. And I seek colleagues' views or comment on this arrangement. I see none. Thank you. And we will then proceed accordingly if there is no further comment. So, colleagues, to start our discussion, I want to invite the Secretary General to brief us on the review of the implementation of Plan of Action to strengthen implementation of SONFEST Treaty 2023-2027. SG Kao, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Excellency, Madam Chair, Excellencies, members of the SONFEST Commission, distinguished delegates. I wish to highlight some key developments relating to the implementation of Plan of Action, POA, to strengthen the implementation of SONFEST Treaty 2023-2027 for your kind information and consideration. Excellencies, the Member States' accession to and ratification of international treaties and conventions on nuclear safety, security, and safeguards are progressing well. Cambodia and Myanmar had already acceded to the Convention on Assistance in the case of a nuclear accident or radiological emergency in September and October 2022, respectively, while Laos PDR had ratified the amendment to the Convention on the Physical Protection of Nuclear Material in April of this year. ASEAN's efforts to develop a regional regulatory regime on nuclear safety and security continue to progress through the work of the ASEAN Network of Regulatory Bodies on Atomic Energy, or ASEAN-TOM. The 10th annual meeting of ASEAN-TOM is scheduled next month in Jakarta, during which ASEAN-TOM members will, among others, deliberate on initiatives to implement its work plan and further strengthen its institutional capacities. Following the renewal of the SONFEST POA for 2023-2027, last year, ASEAN-TOM has already adopted an updated new work program for implementation of technical issues under the SONFEST POA 2023-2027 to correspond with the new SONFEST POA. ASEAN-TOM has also developed 10 years roadmaps with the 5 technical working groups that it established back in 2021 in specific areas of cooperation in order to support nuclear capability development within ASEAN in responding to nuclear radiological incidents. Efforts to forge an ASEAN-wide cooperation to build capacity and capabilities in nuclear safety and security in the area of nuclear energy for power generation continue to be undertaken by the ASEAN Nuclear Energy Cooperation Subsector Network, or NEC-SSN, under the framework of the ASEAN Action Plan for Energy Cooperation 2026-2025, or APAEC, Phase 2. The focus of NEC-SSN activities under the APAEC remains: 1, human and technical capacity building; 2, the 3S, what's called safety, security, and safeguards; and 3, initial forays of public acceptance. The NEC-SSN recently concluded its 13th annual meeting in April 2023 in Klong Pampanga in the Philippines. Excellencies, the implementation of practical arrangements between ASEAN and the IAEA on cooperation in the areas of nuclear science and technology and applications, nuclear safety, security, and safeguards, or PA, is ongoing. Some initiatives are in fact currently being undertaken or planned, especially in the area of non-nuclear power application. These initiatives span across various sectors, including nuclear safety and security, cultural heritage and preservation, agriculture, and health. As the PA will expire next year, ASEAN member states may begin discussion on the possible renewal of the PA for another 5-year term. I would like also to update Your Excellency on ASEAN's efforts to profile the SONFEST Treaty at multilateral fora. A key activity in this regard is the biannual tabling of the ASEAN resolution on the SONFEST Treaty and the First Committee of the United Nations General Assembly. ASEAN plans to table a resolution on the Sunfish Treaty at the 78th session of the UNGA later this year, and the work towards this endeavor is currently ongoing. This biennial resolution is an important exercise as it underscores the relevance of the Sunfish Treaty and highlights its role in contributing to regional peace, security, and stability, as well as to the global disarmament and non-proliferation regime under the NPT. Excellency, we are witnessing with great concern unfolding developments in the world. I think Excellency, Madam Chair, just highlights some of the major issues just now, such as the declining commitment and cooperation in global efforts towards nuclear non-proliferation, arms control, and disarmament. Notably, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK, has increased the frequency of its missile testing. On this issue, the ASEAN Foreign Minister issued two statements in February and June last year expressing their deep concerns. In addition, the landmark Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, also known as the Iran Nuclear Agreement signed in 2015 between Iran and P5 plus Germany, has been in jeopardy following the withdrawal of the U.S. from the deal back in 2018. Similarly, the establishment of AUKUS in September 2021 has raised caution over the thin boundary between nuclear power vessel and nuclear weapons. At the same time, the safety of nuclear power plants, as well as safe storage of radiological and nuclear materials and waste, are also a source of concern. Most recently, in February 2023, Russia announced that it would suspend its participation in the New START Treaty, which is the latest major nuclear arms control treaty between Russia and the United States, causing an outcry over the renewed risk of a possible nuclear war. These developments have brought to the fore the urgency of ASEAN securing negative assurance from the nuclear weapon states. Excellency, following the decision by the Sunfish Commission in August last year, the ASEAN member states are exploring the possibility of allowing one or more nuclear weapon states to separately sign into the protocol on the condition that there is formal assurance in writing that they would sign and ratify the Sunfish Treaty without reservation. 4 Sunfish working group meetings have been convened this year thus far under Indonesian chairmanship, and a few more are scheduled towards the end of this year to discuss matters relating to the protocol and the way forward. The Commission's guidance in this regard is crucial in achieving progress on this matter. Despite these challenges, ASEAN could always tap into the opportunities brought about by the strengthened partnership and cooperation with the nuclear weapon states over the years. China has expressed its willingness to sign onto the protocol without reservation. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom became the 11th dialogue partner of ASEAN in 2021, which could be leveraged upon into ASEAN's future consultation with nuclear weapon states. I thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you very much, SG. So, colleagues, I wish to raise 2 important issues today. First, on the signing of the protocol to the Sunfish Treaty. Colleagues, last year we agreed to explore the possibility of one nuclear weapon state signing the protocol first, as long as they commit to it without any reservations in writing. And we have received a positive signals from China that is even willing to give us formal assurance. I think we must seize this opportunity, regardless of how we will proceed later with the other 4 nuclear weapon states. I propose to conclude the signing in September during the 43rd ASEAN Summit. So I propose that we task our executive committee and working group to kickstart the process, including engaging in discussion with China. The working group needs to wrap up 3 important documents: the statement of the protocol, the draft MOU with China, and the draft protocol to be submitted to our meeting prior to the 43rd ASEAN Summit. So, colleagues, once again, it is very important for us to be united in our position and approach. Second is on the biennial resolution of the SONFES Treaty. The discussion has already begun, but I urge all of you to give our expert maximum flexibility in reaching a conclusion sooner than later. The result of our discussion today may serve as the foundation for consensus. And if we have failed 3 times in a row already, we cannot fail for the 4th time. ASEAN unity and credibility would be further jeopardized. Colleagues, I'm also pleased to announce that the Executive Committee has wrapped up the discussion on the concept note for possible joint initiatives between OPANAL and ASEAN. And I propose that we adopt the concept note to initiate cooperation between ASEAN and OPANAL. I thank you very much. Now, allow me to open the floor for omnibus intervention, and I would like to invite the incoming ASEAN Chair, Lao PDR, Excellency Salamsai Kumasit. You have the floor.
Thank you, Ibu Retno, my sister, the Chair of ASEAN. And let me thank you for the warm hospitality extended to us all, to this, the first meeting in the process of MPMC this time. I would also like to join our chair to welcome our brother, Excellency Benito Freitas, Foreign Minister of Timor-Leste, to ASEAN meeting for the first time. I wish to thank ASEAN SG for the comprehensive briefing on the progress in the implementation of SONFES Treaty Plan of Action 23-27. Mr. Chair,